So I've changed a few things since I wrote, or since I last, since the previous video. Um, Welcome back. This is Tutor Edward Lee. I guess I'm in a rush today. Oh no, it went off the screen. I have to do that. Okay, 1 second. Okay, and resuming. There it is. And okay, great, it bounces. So basically all I've done since the previous video is, what I just did was I made it handle Y boundaries so that it's bouncing off the bottom. That's great. And all I did was in addition to rval, which handles the x velocity, I also added an ryval. And in addition to ry, I also have an rx, I have an ry. So this is a very sloppy way of like writing, getting my code going, but it's good for teaching, I think, just because, here's the basic logic for handling boundaries in the x dimension. Here's y. What I'm doing is right off the bat, for the first collision, basically, so if ryval equals 0, which by default the y velocity is going to equal 0, if when we first hit the right side of the screen, which is always the velocity is equal to 0, or if ever we hit the right side of the screen, the y velocity is 0, so the first time, then we're going to randomly assign a value to ryval, and it's just going to hold that value. We don't want to do it every time we bounce, because then it can create some unrealistic looking bounces. But boom, there we are. That's basically all that's going on. And then I applied the same logic for boundaries. I literally copied the code. That's, the time that I had the video paused or the recording paused was minimal. Yeah, that's it. That's what I've done. So the only other thing I want to do is every time it bounces off of any of the boundaries, I want to make the rectangle color change. So rectangle color I'm going to make variable, and I'm going to make rectangle color equal to black by default. But as you can see at the top of my code, I also added a list of colors. So every time it bounces, I'm going to say rect color equals color list, which is the list of colors, of random.randint. And I don't know how long my list is, so I'm going to say 0, comma, length of color list. Cool. Yeah, and actually I don't want it to be rand int, I want it to be rand range, so that it doesn't include the last value, because that'll give me errors. So boom, I think. There we are. Yeah, let's see if that works. There it is. Awesome. Oh, looks like that one got the same color. Oh no, because I've only done it in one place yet, or so far. So yeah, I want to take that line of code, or those 2 lines of code, whatever, so handle the color change. Just 1 line. Boom. I'm going to put it down below too. And then I guess every time it bounces off the Y, I also want it to change colors. So boom. Man, why is that copying so uglily? There we are. Oh, see, so sometimes there's a chance in ry that ryval is going to be set to negative. So between -2 and 2, that's 0 is somewhere in there. So sometimes ryval is just going to get reset back to 0, and then now, boom, finally it escapes. I only do it on the right-hand side. I only set that value, so it bounced back and forth a few times. But then once it hits, once it gets a value that's non-zero, it's never going to change its velocity again in the y direction. But yeah, that's that. Every time it bounces, it changes its color. It's pretty. It looks like the DVD loading thing. And that's it. That's the absolute fundamentals. So the next video I'm going to upload, which will be, in hopefully a day or so, is going to cover having 2 rectangles going at once and seeing if they collide.